Whenever the hand soap in my kitchen starts to get low, I bring a brand new soap and I put it right next to it. And then I start using the new soap. Sometimes I'll go to the old one. I'll be like, let's see if you have a little more spurts left. But for the most part, I'm pretty much just using the new one. But I keep the old one right there in its original position. I'm like, hey, OG, you were there first. You deserve the crown, my man. I'll keep you there. But I do introduce the new blood, the new soap. I put it right next to it. It's kind of fucked up. But I put them right next to each other. I feel like some people do this with their dogs, right? If a dog is getting a little older, you see them get a puppy, and you're like, whoa, is that a replacement? What is that? Why'd you get a new one? Sure, you'll show some attention to the old one. You'll be like, yeah, it still has a use. I'm going to keep it there. But you brought the new one because you're going to get rid of the old one pretty soon here, right? And I do the same thing with soap. I keep the old soap there like I'm going to use it. But, you just pump. You're just going at that thing like a middle school boy in the bathroom during recess. And nothing's coming out. Like a 70-year-old guy. So why do you keep it there? I don't know. I think it's like this weird false hope that you have. That you're like, no, it still has use. It's been so good to me this whole time. I can't just dispose of it. That's kind of messed up. And it is. It does feel very messed up. If it wasn't an inanimate object. But it is. It just is a utilitarian facility that served its purpose and now it should be thrown out. In fact, you would be allowing it to fulfill its purpose if you just threw it away, but you keep it around because of nostalgia. What? You're nostalgic for some $6.99 soap you bought at a Ross 6 months ago? What are you doing? You did the same thing to that soap that you are doing to it. So why do you feel bad? That used to be the new soap, but now it's the one on its way out. And I do it, and it feels wrong. I don't know. It shouldn't feel as bad as it does, but it does. And I do it every time, without a doubt. And some people do this with their dogs. And some people do this with their relationships, don't they? They kind of keep a relationship going, and they're like, no, this is good. I like this. I mean, we've been going at this for so long, right? Like, this is going to work out. There's still something here. Let it go, babe. Let it go. There's nothing else in there. There's no more foam you're going to get if you keep just pushing the top of that thing over and over. And in fact, yeah, you put the new one right next to it. You start talking to the other soap. Just do it. Dispose of the current soap. What are you doing? So yeah, my soap is a metaphor. Now it's sad every time I go into the kitchen because I look at it and I'm like, oh no. This is why you could never live on a farm and make my own food. Every time I'd walk by the pigs, I'd be like, oh man. It's hot out, huh, pig? Yeah. It's going to get a lot hotter in a couple weeks here when you get a little more plump and fat. Gonna place you right over that stove, huh? And it's like, oh man, what am I doing? That's how I feel. I go into my kitchen, I look at my soap, this old, dusty soap. And all I can imagine, I'm like, oh man, I got to put one right between its eyes pretty soon here. I'm not looking forward to it. That's why I keep it there. I don't even try to make eye contact with it when I go into the kitchen. I kind of like avert my gaze. It calls out for me. Oh, hey, Gauruv. I'm like, don't talk to me. Hey, you want a quick snack from the fridge? And then when your hands get just a little dusty, a little dirty, they're not even dirty. You can go go about your day without washing them. But after you have that little snack and you feel so good, you can come over here and use me, huh? I'm like, no, don't stop. You're making it too hard. So do you do that? Do you just put a new soap next to the old one? And the old one, it can be thrown out by now. I do that with shampoo. I do that with body wash, conditioner. I do it with all the things. And some people do that with dogs. You see it on social media? Someone's like welcoming this new puppy into the family. And you can see their old dog right in the back. It's like half cut. I was like, didn't you just make a birthday post for that dog like last week? I mean, cool, welcome the new one, but I think I see what's going on here. I think we might be getting another dog post later this year, if you know what I mean. a dog post dog, if you know what I mean. On this podcast, I talk about a lot of just bullshit. I don't talk about my real life. Cause why should you know, huh? You sicko? Why do you want to know about me? I don't really talk about my life. I talk about dumb ideas, which is my preferred topic of conversation. This isn't a conversation. This is a monologue. Or maybe you do respond. But the thing is, I don't hear it. So you can keep talking. That's fine. I don't need, sorry. This is like telling you Santa doesn't exist. Keep talking. It's okay. I don't want to crush your dreams here. But I don't talk about myself. And that's, like I said, what I prefer to do with friends. Anytime I'm hanging out with friends, I don't, if they start laying down those questions, oh, how's it going? It's good. What do you, like, it's good or bad, huh? Or amazing, or really bad. But they're all, good or bad. This is just me getting back to the name of this podcast. That's why the name of this podcast is I'm Doing Well. Because I've always struggled with this question of like, oh, how's it going? It's like, I feel like 60% of people could give less of a shit. It's just like a formality you have to do, which is an idea I'm okay with now. That's why I don't think I'm so salty about it. I understand it's just a nice thing to say. Just say the thing. Just participate in the nicety of being a human. Yes, Garv. Just do that. So I don't get as hung up on it as I used to. But I've never really liked it coming from some people. There's some people where they'll be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And I'll just say, yeah. And then they'll move on. Because I'm like, yeah, you just want me to put a word there. You don't give a shit. And that's the thing. If you don't give a shit, why do I have to? So like I said, I don't talk about much on this podcast. If it was up to me, I could talk about bullshit all day. That's what I love doing with friends. Just bits, basically. But I'll let you in on a little real life one. I'll talk a little bit about real life. A couple weeks ago, I went to this thing. What is it? Like before a wedding? It's like a thing where a bunch of people get together. I went to that. And someone was like, what's your name? I was like, Garv. Now I started with Garv. You can see that that's not actually how you pronounce my name. You pronounce my name Gauruv. It's 2 syllables. But a lot of the time I tell people Garv. And I say, yeah, it's spelled Garv. That's not my name. But that's what I tell people when I'm like, I'm probably not going to see them ever again. I know. I've gotten in trouble with people before. Not actual trouble, but I have been hoisted by my own petard before. Because I've told some people this, and they're like, wait, didn't you tell me your name was Garv when we first met? I'm like, did I? I would have to check my diary. I don't think I did that. That, you know what? That just might be in your head. Maybe you're just remembering it that way. I start gaslighting them because I can't be wrong. It's them. They fucked up. I'm infallible. I'm an infallible golden god. I can't mess up. Insulted that you even insinuate that could be a possibility. That's brash, good sir. Brash. You better fucking check yourself before you wreck yourself, motherfucker. Yeah. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there. But I told this guy because I'm like, I'm not going to see this guy again. Probably not. I was like, my name is Garv. He was like, Garth? I was like, close. Garv. He was like, cool. I'll call you Darth Vader. Is that cool? I'm like, yeah, that's actually, I love that. I prefer that. Because the thing is, I don't have to care now. There's a thing that happens with humans where if someone is nice to you, you have to be nice back. In fact, even if you're not nice to me, I'm probably going to be nice back. Because humans, we're generally nice people. We're generally decent, I would say. So even if you can tell that you're not going to talk to this person doesn't give a shit about you, you still have to be nice. You still have to care because it's the human thing to do. But if you open our engagement, our relationship with not caring about my real name, perfect. Thank you. You just gave me a gold ticket invitation to not give a fuck about you either. It's amazing. I love it. Thank you. That's amazing. If you're not going to even step one of us knowing each other, try to know my at least fake name, I'm good. I'm good. Now you can say whatever you want to me. And I'll just be like, and I'm not locked in. I'm zoned the fuck out because I'm like, You started the engagement from a place of, not giving a shit, of indifference. I'll meet you right there, bud. And I love it. So this guy called me Darth Vader the whole night, and I just was zoned the fuck out. Ask me to tell you one thing about that guy. Couldn't. Couldn't tell you a goddamn thing. Line up 10 people, I would say like 3 of them look like this guy. I don't remember anything about this person because he allowed me. He gave me the invite. He opened that front door right up and was like, hey, we're going to talk to each other for the next couple hours, and it's going to be nothing. I was like, say less. Move out the way. I'll be right there. Because if you can't even give me the decency of like doing the little struggle of trying to get to know my name, I love that. The little song and dance. How do you say it? Gauruv. Okay, yeah. And then you see them tiptoe around it the rest of the night. Hey, but what's your friend's name? Hey, bud, could you, you want to come over here and talk to us? It's like, oh my God. But some people do. They do, try, which is nice. It's nice to have people try because no one gives a shit. So if you can at least put on the act, I'm like, oh, that's nice. Probably still never gonna see each other again, but that's nice. It's nice to know you're out there, walking around, putting your influence on people, touching people. Not well, okay, hopefully not phrasing again. I misspoke. That was a misstep. I hope you don't misstep and make that misstep of mine true. Do you know what I'm saying there? Another little look into my life, another time I offered a fake name to someone was I went out to lunch on Friday with a couple members of people I work with, my team at work. And we were sitting at this, bar, all the stools, right? There were 2 of my coworkers to my left, and then there was a seat to my right, open seat, and then an older lady on the seat right next to it, the stool next to it. And the 3 of us were talking about something, probably sports or something like that. And she got a glimpse of something in the conversation we were having that allowed enough of an in where she was like, I can take that and get in there. Probably something sports, and she was like, oh yeah, they're having a bad season, huh? And we're like, oh, yeah, yeah, they are. And now she's in, and now there's 4 of us, Now we're a unified bar. Call us a bunch of lawyers because we're at the same bar. The thing is, though, I was closest. You have to remember that. You remember the setup? 3, open 1? I was this one. Far right. So I guess she took a liking to me because she kept talking to me. And I remember a lot about her. I don't want to disclose too many details because I'm going to leave some of that conversation private. But just to give you the highlights, she's a 66-year-old fiery woman that owns land in the Sacramento area. And she told me that she has great lips, and she showed me her back tattoo. That is all I'm going to say. Back tattoo, did you get that? She showed me her back tattoo in the middle of a bar. That's all I'm going to say. So those are some things that have happened in my real life. I'm not going to say any more about that. I left that restaurant. One of my coworkers was like, did you get your girlfriend's number? I was like, that's more of a second date thing, okay? He was like, how are you going to see her if you don't have her number? I was like, well, destiny will bring us together. Then I'll get her number. And I told her too. I told her my real name first, Gauruv. And then I was seeing that she was struggling with it. So I was like, yeah, my name's Garv, Garv. And she's like, oh, that's a nice name. I was like, yeah? Oh, thanks. She's like, what do you think my name is? Or actually, I asked her. I'm like, yeah, I'm Garv. What's your name? She's like, what do you think it is? I was like, oh, interesting. She was like, yeah, it's a question I like to ask people. I was like, well, what names have you gotten guessed before? And then she told me like a 7-minute story that I have to admit, I zoned out the entire time. I couldn't tell you a lick of that goddamn story, man. But those are some of the things that have happened in my real life. I feel like I don't let you in that much. But there you go. Another thing, since I've last done this podcast, we've done 4 episodes in a row now. This is 5. We're on a streak, a hot streak, folks. But like in the past year, I haven't been doing this, but I have been doing a lot of traveling, right? Last year I went to Germany. Then this year I went to Hawaii. And then I also went to Cabo for the first time this year. A lot of traveling. Last year I also went to LA, New York, East Coast, did that whole thing. So I did a lot of travel. I have done a lot of travel. And the thing I've noticed is that there is no more humbling feeling than landing in a plane, turning your plane off airplane mode, and then just having no notifications. That is the most humbling shit ever. And then you start coping really hard. You're like, oh no, it's just like the data can't reach me because like I'm in the center, the fuselage right now. You know, it probably can't cut through. That's all it is. I'm probably blowing up right now on the cellular device. I know when the hotline bling, and it's not right now, but it will when I get off this fucking metal bird. But then you get into the terminal and stuff, and nope, nothing. It's just like Foot Locker being like, use code SUMMER20 for 20% off. And it's like, God damn it, it's not even on the stuff I want because it's like select items. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So yeah, I've realized that's also another thing I've experienced. There's no greater of a humble than landing in a plane and being like, oh my God, I've been off my phone for like a few hours. Let's see. It's like the whole thing that Stoics or whatever the fuck those productivity hack people always preach about. Delay gratification. And being on a plane is perfect because you're not even in control. You're like, I had to turn my phone off, which is also a great thing. I think I talked about this over a year ago. One of these episodes. There's no greater feeling than getting in a car and going to a place. Because for that time, your purpose is defined and no one can debate it. In that car ride, on these plane flights, you can't look at your phone. Technically you can, but it's not the right thing to do, right? It's supposed to be on airplane mode. You're supposed to pay attention on the road. I don't look at my phone during both of those. Now, I'm not raw dogging flights like apparently some people are doing now, which is fucking weird. It's a weird trend to prop up. But I don't have data. Like I can't get text messages, right? Implying that I'm getting some. But that's one of the greatest feelings. Being on these modes of transportation and being like, yeah, I can't look at my phone. So the reason I didn't respond to you is actually out of my control. It's such a freeing feeling. I love it. Because that's the problem with having a phone. You're technically accessible 24/7. So if you don't respond to someone, it's kind of like, what the fuck? You have your phone on you. I know you do. You just post on your story. I'm like, did I? Oh, that is crazy. Remind me to block you. Actually, you know what? I want to keep this because I like followers. I'm just going to hide my story from you. Is that okay? I'm going to do that, actually. But there's no worse feeling than turning that shit off airplane mode and you're like, ooh, I'm about to get this massive dopamine hit. And then the Weather Channel app is like, do you want to go premium? I'm like, God damn it, man. That's not... I mean, sure, I would like to see the weather on a little more of a granular scale, but also I want to get reached out to by friends. And it's like, well, there's your problem. You don't have them. I'm like, you shouldn't... I know you're called a smartphone, but that's a little too smart, okay? I know you're a smartphone. You're not a fucking smart ass phone. Okay, so lay off, buddy. I'm ripping your SIM card out. So yeah, those are just some real life tidbits I have. Of course, I could give you more details about those if I knew you in real life, but I don't. This is going into the internet. I don't know who the hell is going to listen to this. I can't get into those details. That's right. Censorship is at an all-time high, folks. That's right. Big media is shutting us down. But that's enough real shit, okay? We got to talk about the stuff I actually enjoy talking about, which is the fact that I wash my hands throughout a meal. Not every meal, but when I'm like home alone, I'm digging into a meal, Macaulay Culkin style, sometimes it just gets a little too messy. Like I'll be just deep into a burger and there'll just be like sauce everywhere, all over the digits. And I'm like, ooh, I need a factory reset. So I just go to the sink, I just wash my hands real quick and I get back after it. Because there's a point, I feel like you reach like, what is it, critical mass of just sauce on your hands where you're like, is there more on these than in the burger? That's a problem. I should probably remedy that. So I found myself doing this. I do like wash my hands, at least rinse them throughout a meal sometimes. Because I'm just getting in there. And then it's like when a murderer, they're like caught in a daze, allegedly, right? I don't know what murder is like. I've heard people are talking about it when they've murdered. But like someone probably gets in like a murderous haze and then they snap out of it and they're like, what have I done? That's how I feel with a burger. I'll just have In-N-Out spread all over my hands. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? What am I doing? I wanted the burger animal style. I didn't know, I wanted to be an animal style person. But you are what you eat, right? That would be a great in and out. Hear me out. Hear me in and out. What are we doing? What are we doing here? But in and out, hear me out. This is a great ad. You can take this one. You have someone eating an animal style burger. Follow so far? And you kind of make a catchphrase, a slogan that says you are what you eat. So they're eating an animal style burger and they just turn ravenous. Then they start going crazy. And then they terrorize a town. They get as big as Godzilla and they start just, ho hum stomping through people and buildings and stuff. And then your slogan is now unleash the inner monster. Or like you are what you eat. Come get our animal styles. Shit. Yeah, you can just take that one. That's fine. Just slide me some extra spread whenever I pop on by. That's all I ask. See, and that's the stuff I want to talk about, right? Having a burger haze when you're just ripping into one, mouthing away. That's what I like talking about friends with. Not like, oh, how's work going? Shut the fuck up. Are you a police? Are you wearing a wire? Why do you give a shit? What, you want me to reveal insider secrets? No. Shut the fuck. What could I tell you here that would be fulfilling for either of us? Thank you for allowing me the forum, the space to talk about my job. But that's not why I get together with you. That's not why we do this. That's why I go to that place 40 hours a week to talk about that. That's not why I spend these other hours of the week with you. I spend that time with you to talk about other shit. Like the weather. See? Much more enriching, fulfilling conversations. Why would I tell you about work when I could tell you that, oh, it's getting hotter recently? I love that shit. Another thing that's great to talk about, I had this thought this week. Do you think there's a guy that was introduced to Advil first and then M&Ms, so he went about them the complete wrong way? Think about it. If your friend, you've seen Advil, right? The specific Advil I'm talking about looks like this. These, they look like M&Ms, and you swallow them. Can you imagine if someone was introduced to those first and then M&Ms? You're hanging out with that friend. You just notice that they're just swallowing M&Ms. But you want to be nice. Remember, there's that human decency I talked about. So you never confront them straight out. You don't say are you fucking swallowing those things? You say, hey, you liking the M&Ms? They're like, yeah, these are great. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, the chocolate flavor is pretty good, huh? I know you like chocolate, so I'm sure that's kind of why you like these. And they're like, oh, is there chocolate inside? I didn't know. I'm like, see, I got you. You're fucking swallowing those things, aren't you? And they're like, yeah, isn't that what you're supposed to do? I'm like, who taught you that? And they're like, well, they look like Advils. What else would you want me to do? I'm like, damn, that's a good point. That's a good fucking point. That's why if you ever find a big stick in the wild, you pick it up, you use it as a walking stick, but then you start swinging it around like a bat because it looks like a bat. So your human instincts take over and you're like, you should probably start swinging that thing like you're fucking Babe Ruth. Yeah, that looks like a bat. That's how I know that baseball goes back way farther than it was originally. Yeah, big baseball is trying to pull one over on you. They're trying to throw a fastball right down the middle and have you look, because I think baseball has been around forever. Because why is it such a primal instinct to pick up a big stick and then be like, yeah, just working on my swing? I'm like, you're a 32-year-old accountant. What do you mean working on your swing? No one's going to be like, is he going to excel in the off season? They're going to be like, I hope he updated his Excel at work. That's a bad joke. I couldn't come up with anything better. I'm so sorry. Thanks, by the way, for listening to this. We are 5 weeks in a row. Numbers have been good, but I need that engagement. We've been doing good these past 4 weeks. Last week was nice too, but I need engagement more than a wedding photographer in the summer, you know? I need engagement bad. You get the joke there? Because if no one was getting engaged, then what would a wedding photographer do? And a lot of weddings happen in the summer. You see what I did there with that one? So, yeah, just make sure you leave a comment, leave a like. That would be stupendous. That'd be a stupendous win. What the fuck does that mean? But it is, and I'm not saying this facetiously, it is getting hotter. It is. It's just a fact. I don't mean anything by that. But it means you got to drink a lot of water, right? And I actually track the amount of water I drink. It's true. I've been doing it for a while. There's no reason I do it. I just like gamifying my life. You know, if you want a little productivity hack, if you want to do anything to the nth degree, if you want to 10x your life, you got to gamify it, man. You got to coinify it, okay? Everything's got to be a level up, is what I always tell people. These are the other conversations I have with my friends. I'm always just trying to put them onto that new shit. I'm always trying to Bezos that shit up. I'm always trying to give them those sweet, sweet kisses in the forms of financial advice. But none of it is financial advice. See, that's the other thing. I've talked about this in the past. I say things on here. And I don't know why people believe them. And I realized this week there's a perfect way to phrase it. Basically, and I think this even stretches into real life, basically you have to know that anything I say is off the record. Everything you hear on here is off the record. So you can't come back to me later and be like, I think I do that thing you said. It doesn't matter because I don't believe it because it's off the record. You see, you brought it into this court that we exist in, and you can't use that evidence because it was off the record. So that's kind of, I think, what you need to carry forward with yourself. You have to understand that everything I say, and again, this even I think applies to the things I say in real life, is off the record. This is off the record. You can't use this for anything because I don't mean it. Or do I? There's no way to know. And it doesn't matter because it's off the record. So that's a little thing you can implement into your real life. Anytime you're about to say some fucked up shit to your friends, just say, hey, off the record, but they can't be offended. It's like the new no offense, except it's like suits coded. You know what I'm saying? It's a really good life hack. It's a way to never lose a friend because then they can never be mad at you because you said no offense. Sorry, off the record. Off the record, that does make you look fat. I'm not even sorry because it's off the record. If I was to have a thought, it would be that. But I didn't because I'm off the record. See, it's really applicable. How's my new goulash that I sent you some of? Is goulash? That's like a soup, right? I don't know. How's that goulash that I sent you? Off the record? Pretty bad. Okay, but on the record. On the record, loved it. Oh my God. Stop sending me it, but loved it. Yeah. I would like the part about not sending me anymore to be on the record. You got that? Okay, good. That was on the record. Okay. But yeah, I think too many people put things on the record, and I'm like, you fucker. I knew it. I knew you were wearing a wire. I knew it. But you didn't disclose that our conversation was on the record, so you can't get mad at me. Babe, you can't get mad at me. I only told you I hated your family because I thought it was off the record. Like, what the fuck? You got to be upfront with me about that shit. Yeah, but I do track the amount of water I drink. And it made me realize that I can't drink anything besides water because I'm trying to get my number up. I thought about it this week. I was having a sandwich at lunch. Something like that. Something that pairs well with juice. Yeah, it pairs well with a nice citrus. But no, I was having a sandwich and I wanted to drink orange juice with it. And there was a part of me that was like, you can't do that. And the other part of me was like, why? And the other part of me was like, well, because you're tracking the amount of water you drink. And if you drink juice, well, that's a waste. I'm like, a waste? I enjoy juice. I do want to drink juice. So why do I feel bad about it? Because I'm gonna miss out on 2 cups of water. See, that's the thing. Any meal is life hack. If you track the amount of water you drink, any meal, easy 2 cups of water right there, just downing it with it. If you have a meal, you can't drink anything less than like 2 cups of water with it. So already there, you're not drinking water with breakfast. Okay, that's fucking weird. So lunch and dinner, 4 cups of water. I think they're recommended. I've heard some people throw around 8. I'm anywhere between like a 6 to 12 cups of water a day. There's a lot of there's a big delta there. There's a big range. It just depends on the vibe. If I went on a walk, probably gonna hit 12. If I didn't wake up till 1 p.m., it'll be hard to get to 6. But I thought about it. I'm like, that's fucked up. Why am I forbidding myself from having the joy of an orange juice? Just because I want to track my water? What the fuck am I doing? I think that's why it's kind of bad, right? To like track a lot of the stuff you do, because then you start obsessing over the numbers. I think the overused, exhausted example is tracking your steps. People get more obsessed with like, I got to get 10K than, the actual benefit of just getting outside and doing it. I think some people will even buy a treadmill, right? And be like, I got to get my fucking steps. But I'm like, yeah, but isn't there more to it? I think a lot of the part is like just getting outside and being like active. Not just hitting like 10K. It's good that you're getting 10K. But what are we doing? We're not fucking video game players where after every match, after every day, we look at our stats and we're like, yep, it's looking good. I know that there's some like productivity gurus online that they like that, I've never used it, but isn't there that fucking app? It's called like Notion or whatever. They're like, yeah, you got to plan out your day. Fucking, here's my Notion set up. I'm like, hey, here's a Notion. Shut the fuck up. It's like, we're all going to die one day, man. What are you doing? And okay, I get the counter argument would instantly be like, yes, we are. Yeah, and you should remember that, which is why you need to plan everything so you can make the most of it. I'm like, yeah, man, but so much of life is just the vibes. And Notion, it's kind of a vibe kill if you think about it. But no, I've actually, if you do plan your day like hour by hour, it does actually, I feel like, lead to a more fulfilling life I've experienced. But I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to choose to be what is it called? A pedant? A pedant? I don't know what it's called. But yeah, I'm a pedant. I'm going to act like I don't know that shit and be like, man, that's a fucking vibe kill. Fuck you if you plan your hour by hour day. I'm living more of a life because I wake up at 1 p.m. and I eat one meal and drink 3 glasses of water a day. I was filling gas at a gas station. You know what? Fine. I'll let you in on a little more of my real life. I was filling gas at a gas station. That's right. I saw this sign, on the thing that's above the trash can and the little squeegee thing. Which is, by the way, squeegee. Crazy name. Whoever was in charge of the naming council, I feel like they pulled a fast one over us. Squeegee. What's that? It's a fucking squeegee. I don't know. Can I go to lunch now? It's like, yeah, fine. That's a squeegee now. But over the trash can, the squeegee dipper, there's a little like bar, and then they can put an ad right over it. There was an ad there, and it said, I'll put a picture right here. It said, pizza coming soon to this gas station. I was like, why are you letting us know? What's hype about that? Are we supposed to be hype? The thing is, when people say coming soon, it's for like big extravagant things, right? This movie coming soon. And you're like, oh fuck. They're doing Bambi too? A new sports arena coming soon. They already have cryptocurrency fucking arena. What else are they gonna have? Coming soon. Dogecoin fucking field. That's just crypto. That's not a good joke, Arv. You have to go somewhere else. You have to go laterally, not down. That was bad. That was a bad joke. You had to do something that was next to crypto, not a version of crypto. Idiot. But you use coming soon for these big things. Why are you using it to tell me that this gas station is going to have pizza? Is that what's going on now? Is life that sad? They know that everyone has to fill gas, except people, that have fucking Teslas and shit. Which is, there's too many. There's too many. I'm going to take a bold take here. Too many Teslas. I know. No one said that yet, right? The thing I keep hearing about Cybertrucks is they look like a potato that was peeled with a knife. I was like, oh, damn. That's pretty good. But for us gas guzzling Americans, we go to gas stations probably like once a week or so. And so we read this fucking thing. And I'm like, and is this what they've told us that we have to be excited for? They're like, yeah, in your shitty little life, you look forward to gas station pizza. I know you do. That's the highlight. And that's what I felt kind of weird about. I'm like, wait, is this do they think we're going to look forward to this? Do you think we're going to see that and then talk to the person inside, be like, yo, saw the sign? And they're like, yeah, what pump are you? I'm like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Gas station pizza coming soon. They're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, we found a bunch of frozen ones in the back of the freezer. And yeah, we're going to start putting it out. I'm like, yep. When's drop day? When are you guys releasing? I'll be right out front. They're like, yeah, well, we're 24/7. So you can stay inside. I'm like, nah. Doesn't give me the release jitters if I stay inside. It'll be like I'm cheating a little bit. So tell me, when is release day? Oh, or can I not know? Is it going to be on your website? What's the passcode? Can you tell me at least the password? The first digit. Give me the first digit of the passcode. I bet I could triangulate it and know the drop website's fucking password. They're like, no, we're just going to start carrying it on the 17th. Oh my God. And it's the 11th. So that's like within the week. Holy shit. Oh my God. Is that what they think we're going to do? Is that how sad they think we are? That we're going to camp outside? It's coming soon. Mark your fucking calendar. I will do no such thing, good sir. You stay the fuck away from my calendar, okay? That's reserved for important stuff. Like reminders to drink water, okay? I can't fucking bother it with your coming soon ass pizza. Get the fuck out of here, man. So yes, coming soon. I was a little bit hype. No, I wasn't. What are we doing? Also, why don't they already have pizza? And did it I saw that and I had so many questions because that went through a whole thing. The sucky part about being an adult is you can't just see things anymore. Or you can't just ignore things. Ever since I started making YouTube videos, TV shows are slightly annoying now because I watch it and I'm like, how did they edit that? That seems annoying. And then I get pissed off. Again, off the record, the thing I just said. Because let's pull back the veil a little bit. That doesn't actually piss me off. I just said it to take a very strong approach for entertainment value. But I don't really give a fuck. But it's something I do think about. When I watch TV shows, I'm like, oh, was that difficult? Did they have to edit that for a while? That's too real. I'm going to go back. I'm going to pull the veil back. Yeah, man, I can't fucking enjoy TV anymore because I see this shit. And I'm like, oh, that was probably annoying to do. But then, yeah, you see stuff in real life like pizza coming soon. And you know that, oh, that probably went through a bunch of committees. They had to get it signed off. Then they had to look at designs and be like, we'll go with that one. Yeah, we're keeping people employed. Vote for Gauruv, 2024 president. Bringing back jobs. And we're bringing back gas station pizza coming soon. But I don't get it. I saw that and my mind was like, when a million miles an hour, I'm like, how? Let's pull the veil back. I didn't actually care. I got a little chuckle out of it, and then I moved on with my day. But I was like, oh, I can probably talk about this later, and that's what I'm doing now. So let's do it. But I got fucking pissed off. I'm like, you know how many people had to be involved with that process? And how long did they know? I know. Don't be cynical, God, but I have to know. How long did they know? If they had to go through this whole approval process to get this little banner made, how did they ensure that there were no leaks? How did they ensure that the public wasn't going to figure out that gas station pizza is coming back soon? Do people have to sign NDAs? Hey, we're bringing back gas station pizza in about 6 months here. Don't tell anyone. You got that? Is someone in jail right now because they broke an NDA to not disclose the gas station pizza is coming back? There's so much about the adult world that sucks. But it doesn't matter because gas station pizza is coming soon and it will save us all. And if you want to save me, make sure you leave a like and a comment on this, okay? We've been doing good. If you are doing anything for 4th of July, enjoy. And I'll talk to you next week, okay?